Hey everyone, it's your girl Sam here, life insurance agent, financial coach. And today I wanted to talk to you about my new book, The Four-Step Guide to Building Your Financial Foundation, which made number one on Amazon in six categories, but we're not going to brag too much about that. Today we're going to talk about how this book can help you now during these uncertain times in the economy. Now we all know we got a report released on Monday that inflation was at a 40-year high, coming in at 8.6%. Ah, and what that means is that the cost of living has drastically increased. So, how do we stop that from happening? Well, we really can't stop inflation from happening, but we can help mitigate and curb our dealings with it. So, the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you have a budget, a rock solid budget. And I'm not talking about getting a piece of scrap paper or a napkin. You know what I'm talking about. Writing out what bills you're going to pay for this month. I'm talking about knowing exactly what's coming in that bank account and what's going out. Yes, including that Netflix, including that pint of ice cream you bought when you was, thinking about eating ice cream the other night that cost you $6.99. You want to have all of that written down and documented. Because what this is going to do is going to tell you exactly what you're spending your money on and what you can do to reduce some of the money you're spending. Secondly, after you get that budget written out, itemizing everything truthful, honest, to the point, you're going to go back over the budget. Yes, go back over the budget. I know I'm making you work today, but you're going to thank me in the long run. Go back over it to make sure what you wrote down is exactly what you're spending. Because if you are anything like me, sometimes you go a little bit above your budget, and we want to curb that. Not take it away, but we just want to make you aware of what you're spending your money on. Because trust me, it's going to help you. After you have your budget system in place and you're checking it often, you're gonna find out that you really don't need your to be have a concrete budget anymore, because now your spending is going to go based on your feeling. And when it goes based on your feeling, you're going to be able to tell when you're spending too much money and when you can spend a little bit extra. Now, after the budget is done, well, during the process of the budgeting, you want to start hitting that savings account. Now, most people say, well, I don't have any money to save. Let me tell you two things. The first thing is you should be putting money in your savings account before you pay any other bills. And I know people are like, what are you talking about? You say you're a financial coach. You want me to not pay my bills? I want you to pay yourself first. Then I want you to pay your bills, because you're always going to find money. But when it comes to ourselves, we typically tend not to find the money to put into our savings account. So we're going to cut that bad habit out right now in the beginning, get it out the way, and we're going to put money in our savings account first. We're going to do this automatically, and we're going to aim to have 3 to 6 months saved. Once we get that nice cushion of 6 months saved, then we can continue to save a little more. But if we are understanding how money works, we want to eventually start investing that money. After we have the budget, the savings in place, now we want to look at that credit score. Now, don't get me wrong, this is not in any order. You can do all this at one time, and you should be doing this all at one time. You want to make sure your credit score is a 740 or above. Why is 740 when they say 680 is all you need? They say 680 is all you need because they make money when your score is that low. Don't get it twisted. 680 is not a good score for you to have. You need to have a 740 or better. And I'm going to tell you one thing that's going to do for you. That's going to give you a more favorable interest rate when you go to do things like get a house, get a mortgage, or get a credit card. You're going to need that have to have that high credit score, because that shows the lenders that you are less of a risk. Now, after you have all those things in order, and again, this is not in any particular order, you could do them all at one time. You want to protect yourself with insurance. And that's going to be your life insurance and your disability insurance. And depending on what age you are, you want to think about long-term care insurance. But today we're going to talk about life insurance and disability insurance, because those two things will help you while you're living and when you're gone. So I know you're wondering, well, how does life insurance help you when you're living? There's something called a living benefit that we refer to as cash value. Now, what this cash value does for you is it allows you to grow your money again with a lower risk than the stock market. But you are essentially growing your money due to interest that the life insurance company is paying you and the dividends you're earning. So this is something that a lot of wealthy people do. They take advantage of the living benefit of life insurance. Now, if your pockets doesn't allow for you to get a whole or permanent policy, don't fret. You can still protect yourself with life insurance with a term policy. And what a term policy is going to do This is going to protect your family and help you create the legacy you want to pass down to either your children, your grandchildren, your nieces or your nephew, or anyone that you have an attachment to and you want to leave them something. I want everyone to start understanding that. The lack of inheritance is what's widening this wealth gap that we have. So, if we can do things right now to help shrink the wealth gap, we'll be in a better position as always. So, if you would like to learn more about the topics I just discussed, this is your cue to go ahead, click that link, and get my new book. I go over all of this, and the gems are I put key takeaways and ways that you can build generational wealth for your family. So, this your girl Sam here signing off. Talk to you soon.